All right, the first thing you want to do is you're going to get your chicken into your saucepan. Chicken bone in. Okay, it's a chicken breast. Put it meat side down, so again, the bone up, so you can cook all of it. You need enough water to cover it completely, or you may place a lid on it. What you want to do is bring it up to a boil. While that's happening, you want to cut your carrot and your celery. Alright, again, you may cover it with the lid. If you guys want to use a pie pan, you can, or if you can cover it completely, that's fine. But you'll be using your stock that you used on your last lab. Okay, so again, while you have your stock going, peel your carrots. You can actually use your, so we're going to do a row cut. We're going to actually add this into the chicken. So again, you'll have celery. Make sure they're already cleaned. Cut them roughly a little bit large. You may do a row cut, any kind of cut you want to do. Oops. This looks a lot nicer, but again, more chunks than a dice. As soon as it comes to a boil, lower it down to a low simmer. Okay, we're going to make our stock. So in this bowl I have a cup of flour. I've got my baking powder, and then we want to use 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, which is 1/2 of a 1/4 of a teaspoon. Then you're going to add some salt, a pinch. Just give it a little pinch. Okay, then you're going to add 1½ ounces of butter. It's preferably you want to use the shredder, or 3 tablespoons. Okay, make sure it's nice and chilled. You're going to kind of, as it gets a little bit melted, just kind of rotate it. Mix it into your flour. Actually use a flour as to insulate your hand. And just shred it up. Mix it up. Make sure you get all of it. As you go, just kind of mix it up so it distributes evenly. And then just knock off any excess. Then you're going to add your buttermilk. You can actually make biscuits with the same recipe. So we're using about 1/2 cup. And then just add roughly about 1/2 cup if you need a little more. Actually start at probably, just right about 1/2. And then just make sure you work it in. Remember, don't over knead it. Just make sure it comes to a mass. And then we're going to chill this for an hour. You guys are going to be chilling it overnight. And there's your, make sure you get all of it. That's it, don't overwork it. Just give it a quick fold and a fold. And you're good. Just wrap it up and we're all right. After 45 minutes, this is what it'll look like. You're going to put yours in your container. Put everything in your container. We'll cover it up. Okay, we'll cover up that. Put it in the container. You'll have your biscuit or your dumpling batter covered, and put in the reach-in. The next day, though, you want to go ahead and fish out this chicken and your vegetables. Okay, and all you want is just your broth. And the reason for this is the vegetable is going to be very tender, and you're going to be using a whisk to make your sauce. You don't want any of those carrots to break down. You want to keep them nice and whole. So all you're left with is just this nice broth. All right, so then you have your chicken. Yours will be cold. This one's actually hot. Take off the skin if you choose, and then just take the bone off. Remove the bones. This is the best way to do it, actually. Make sure you get the pin bones, etc. And then you're just going to break it down. Break down the meat. Large chunks, whatever you like. You can dice it if you choose. Basically, that's what you're looking for. Okay, you don't want it too fine, but something more like kind of bite size. Then we're going to make our gravy. Then we'll add this into the gravy as well. Okay, you're going to get 2 potatoes and just basically cut them. Put them in some water, make sure they're completely covered. And then you're going to place that on the stove top, make sure they're completely cooked. These are going to be for your mashed potatoes. Make sure they're completely covered. Add a little salt. And onto the stove. Okay, so again, once this thing comes nice and steaming hot, as you can see, it's nice and steaming, you can hear it. You're going to place those dumplings in there. So, add them in one at a time. Well, in your case, you're going to put yours in the steamer. So basically, this is what I have here is a steamer. Just make sure you guys just place them in. You can actually place them on top too. It doesn't matter. They'll come apart. And then you want to put this lid back on. We'll let them go for about 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes. You place the lid back on for 5 minutes. Okay, so once they're done, they'll look nice and fluffy, as you can see here. And as you can see, they have the nice layers, like a biscuit would. So we'll go ahead and get those into the container, and then we'll add those to our sauce. All right, so we have our broth that we're going to bring up. So at this point, you can start adding any seasoning. So we'll, again, whatever you want. I'm going to add some black pepper. And if you need to add some chicken base or whatever, you may add some chicken base. I'm going to add some salt. Garlic. Again, this is granulated garlic. And basil. You could add thyme. Thyme works really well. Basil or thyme would be a good choice. So then we're going to bring this up to a boil. All right, so you have your broth at a nice, beautiful boil. So you're going to add your roux, which is about 2 tablespoons. Start out with 2 tablespoons and then adjust if you need it. It should thicken right away. If there's some lumps, then go ahead and use the immersion blender. So we just want to break these up really good. That's why we're not adding any of the carrots in there, because if we do that, we'll break them down. They pretty much get really softened. I've already seasoned this. It's ready to go. Make sure you cook out all the starch in it. That's about what you're looking for. Then you're going to add your heavy cream. Add your cream. Turn it off. We're adding roughly about a half a cup. And there's your sauce. We'll set it aside. Got your mashed potatoes. And again, just mash them up. Use a masher. Remember, they have salt in them. If you add salt, just double check them. And then we're going to add the cream to that, or milk, any of those that work. We'll get some richness out of them. Again, how much cream you put in is basically how much potato you have. So put a little bit at a time. You don't want them too thin. You want them nice and thick. You could add garlic to these, granulated garlic. You could add pepper. Check and see how much salt is in them. I'll check right now. Just the right amount of salt. Then I'll just add some black pepper. Okay, so once you're done, go ahead and add your chicken and your vegetables into the sauce. Then you can add your dumplings, how many you choose. Throw those in there. And then gently toss them in. So what I'm going to do is just make a little spoon and just gently toss these in. Then we'll go ahead and do a plate up. Again, don't disturb the carrots. The carrots are going to be very tender. You get your mashed potatoes, a nice good dollop. However you want to place the dumplings and the chicken is up to you. I like to go over the top, like so. Nice chunks of chicken and dumplings. A couple more dumplings here. And then just top it with some parsley. There you go, chicken and dumplings.